Oh my God. And another one starting? Here we go round the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush. Here we go round the mulberry bush so early in the morning. Yes, aren't those fun? My aunt's hot. Wait, aren't you married? I was just echoing the sentiments of George the Temp in there who says your aunt is hot, which is, probably true. I find that a lot of media moguls' wives are hot, you know what I mean? So, I looked at my wife and I said, my God, woman, you're hot. You know what I mean? She loved it. Tracy McShane, says God, why he loves it. I love that names with Mick, You could put anything after, Mick Scott, Mick Flippers, you know what I mean? Mick Mighty Mouse, Mick Minnie Mouse, Mick Chicken, which is what the big guys did. Hey, they thought it through. What are the two most important things in our program? Okay, we're McDonald's and they're going to do chicken. What should we call it? You know what I mean? McChicken. IMDb. What's that? What's that IMDb? I've seen that before, but I don't know what it is.
I think it's IMDb.
IMDb. Okay, DBBD. What is it? But let's get back down to lolling. That's right. Internet Movie Database. Here we go. We're putting it on the internet. Now, should we make the movie? What's the movie about? Laugh Out Loud, VIT RON, the movie. I've got 2 weeks to my countdown, and I'm taking a drive across Canada, halfway across North America, to get myself over to Toronto. Yeah, I'm gonna get it on. Yeah, I'm gonna drive so long, gonna film that thing and make it into Laugh Out Loud, VIT RON, the movie. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna shoot a whole bunch of footage all the way around the country. You know what I mean? And then I'm gonna cut it up and splice it into the movie, and I'll call it a day in the life of Laugh Out Loud VIT RON. We'll put that on the IMDb DVD, and we'll do it, a DVD. We're talking about all kinds of things here. Guy says, you meet the girl, and all you can do is laugh out loud VIT RON, and she wants to understand you, and you can't have it. Ron, today's Free Slurpee Day. I'm sitting. What is it all about with the acronyms, guys? What is it? I'm standing too deep. I'm in too deep. I'm in too deep. Remember those old songs, things like that? It was ridiculous back in the day. How about those old emotions? You hear songs that kind of sounded cool about 20 years ago, and then you hear them again and go, ew, turn that off. It's kind of hurting my conundrums. You know what I mean? Celtic Mac is in the house. Flippers is doing his job here full time. He's going to say it's Free Slurpee Day. Now, why is it Free Slurpee Day? What are you talking about? Free Slurpees? It's the 7th month, 11th day. Wow, that almost merits a song. What is it? 7th month, 11th day. Rock out loud, yeah. It won't never go away. Laugh out loud. That's the one third we talked about. Remember that song? We're an American band. Woo. We're an American band. I used to do that song. Out on the road for 40 days. Hey, go, last night in Little Rock, it goes put me in a haze. Booze and ladies, he says, treat me right. As long as we can make it to the show tonight. We're an American band. It's the Free Slurpee Day. I've heard that. That's a nice promotion. I think that's a really nice promotion. I wonder how overdrawn they are at the Dixie Cup Bank after that day is over. Anyway, I will take grape or Coke Slurpee. I like to blend them all up, but I like a Coke Slurpee too. And the grape. Actually, you're right. How about a blend it between grape and Coke? I would really like that. It's 7-11 on the calendar, so you're giving me the inside news. Right, Jason laughs. Here we go. A small amount, my brother. It was my brother's birthday today, but a small amount, brother. Why is he a small amount, brother? What's that mean? Is he just, was it attempted murder? Was it attempted intercourse when he was born? I don't know. Happy birthday, sure. Can we do it? Happy birthday to you. You know the rest. Okay, so last night when 7-Eleven did the Simpsons movie tie-in and all the stores were Quickie Marts. Ooh, back to the first subject of light porn on the internet. It's welcome to Quickie Mart. You got a bunch of people just standing there available for your pleasure. It must be maybe just in the States. Yeah, Canada gets left out. I find it on the net too. A lot of things you say, I'd like to see that, and then you click it and it says, we have been able to detect that you're in Canada. And you can't do it. So it's interesting. Maybe it's a kind of censorship. Maybe it's just Americans finally putting their foot down and saying, we want to be different than Canadians. Because I know that Americans always emulate Canadians, and they always have. Just kidding. Anyway, this just in. So what's going on in your lives, people? Here we go. It says, your brother that died. What are you talking about? Good God, here I am rambling on like, actually, I was in Surrey. There was one in New York. I wanted to go so bad, but you couldn't. You're talking about a funeral? Oh, my God. This just in. I know what you mean, though, Celtic Man. I couldn't come back to my grandmother's funeral, so it was kind of interesting. Actually, I was in Surrey, BC. Damn, says Mighty Mouse. I like it. Quick Mart. Okay, Quick Mart. I've seen Quick Marts before. You got it out east too? Okay. But Quickie Mart, you don't get that one. I was thinking we should copyright that quick. It's the Quickie Mart. Yeah, that's the one in the alley. You go in there, yeah, over by the garbage bin, My good God. What about the guys? What about the women selling their bodies and they're standing over there by the 7-Eleven or the Quickie Mart over by the garbage bin? Oh my God, you know, what a thing. Terrifying thing, you know. Here we go. We're on with the soft porn, we're on with prostitution. What about the people? Yeah, I used to live in Vancouver, and there used to be prostitutes that worked on the corner, and I got to know them because, I mean, they were out there for weeks at a time. They would just sort of stay there for a couple of weeks, and then they would just disappear, you know, after a few, whatever. And it was always quite interesting, you know. You'd sort of come to know them. Well, you wouldn't come to know them. I mean, how much can you get to know prostitutes working on the corner, you know? I mean, I suppose you could for $25, but I lived right there, so I would talk to them and say, hey, you know, what's going on, and joke around with them, and then they would disappear, you know. And the one woman, actually, she was this hilarious drug addict, you know. She wore this wild white furry coat, you know. It was kind of like that poofy kind of thing, and she wore fishnet stockings, the whole thing, and she was a bleach blonde, and she looked like she'd been through about 50 rum and cokes every time you saw her, you know what I mean? You know, she was funny, though. She was hysterical, and she was kind of nuts. And then one day she showed up. Well, she disappeared for a while, and then she showed up back in the corner. Heelzo's in the house. Welcome back, Heelzo. Number one. I'm glad to have you. I'm talking about a prostitute that I knew in Vancouver. Now, she was on the corner, and she would be there, and we talked to her, and then she disappeared for a couple of weeks, and then she showed back up, beaten all to hell, like beaten up really badly. And I said, what's the truth about it, you know? And it was fun. It was funny because my parents were visiting me, right? So, you know, they come into the house, the apartment, and then we go out, and there she is one day. And so I strike up a conversation. My mom and dad say, I know this is the prostitute that works out front of the house. Hi, you know, hi, Debbie. Oh, hi, Ron. You know, she was a skank. And my parents talked to her, got to know her a little bit too. You know, they're kind of open-minded people. So, but she got beaten up by some guy. She said somebody took her into the car, beat her up. You know what I mean? I said, what terrible life. You know, I mean, if the girl is there, don't beat her up for God's sake. So yeah, and these people would appear and disappear, like I said. And I remember one night it was pouring rain. Vancouver's the place, right? Lots of rain in Vancouver. And you know, they would be out in the street. And I remember one time I had the window open because I love the open window when the rain is happening. You know, I mean, I found that out last night because it's been raining in town quite a bit, and I just found out it's lovely, and I open the window and say, hey, get that area in. But I was listening, and the cars are going by because it was a busy street, of course, and I heard her singing with the headset on, standing in the rain with an umbrella, singing, she's a man-eater, and she was sort of stamping her feet in the middle of the, you know, and I thought, wow, you know, hip, hip, hooray. So Heelzo came back, Jason's in the house. Celtic Max says, I stepped on a frog a week ago. Good God, man, that's even more obtuse. I'll tell you a story about the frogs, because this is an interesting story, actually. I was a kid, right, and there was a campground up north somewhere in Saskatchewan. We go down there, and it's just been a heavy rain, but the rain's done and diddly-ding. So I say to my parents, or we all say, we're going to go. Flips is gone. Flips, peace, number one. We love you. Come on back, talk to your uncle. Don't kid me. Don't jerk my line here. I'm in love with you. Help me out here. You're number one. Anyway, so we're over there camping in Saskatchewan. And the guy says, okay, we can take the horses out, you know. So me and my brothers and sisters and a couple other people, you know, getting a trail ride, pony ride. And next thing you know, we're riding along, and we're going sort of beside a river, a little creek or something. And there are hundreds of frogs, you know, exodusing from the water, I guess, out to drier land. I don't know what they were doing. And the horses were stepping on them, and it was all splotchy and lockly. And it was like Murder, She Wrote. It was kind of like that movie where the frogs come down from the sky. If you know that one, what was that one? Magnolia, something like that. I kind of looked at that and said, what? And somebody told me that was true, that the frogs did come down from the sky one time, and they wanted to, you know, to keep that in mind. Anyways, oh, we're using a green screen, or was that a studio? No, we're using a green screen. I wish it were the studio. That would mean that the studio was cleaned up and it's right. It's part of our studio. It's part of Talking Dog TV. It's part of Talking Dog Studios, actually. It's the B mixing room, as they say. Diddly ding. This just in. Celtic Max says, okie dokie. What's going on, Heelzo? Let's wrap it up. Here we go. We're going to be a little, no, we're not wrapping it up at the end of the segment. Here we go. This is the end of the segment. Yeah.